Do you remember when climbing stairs didn't require a pep talk? When your legs carried you through the day without that heavy, tired feeling? Maybe you've noticed it creeping in slowly, that odd heaviness in your calves when you stand up. Or the tingling sensation in your feet that won't go away. Perhaps your legs feel cold even under a warm blanket, or you see those purple, twisted veins getting more visible every month. Here's what nobody's telling you. While doctors hand out circulation medications and everyone's shouting about exercise, there are 3 specific vitamins, just 3, that could be the missing key to why your legs feel the way they do right now. And here's the twist that might surprise you: you've probably heard about these vitamins before. You might even be taking one of them already. But what you haven't been told is how they work together, in what amounts, and why getting this wrong could be why nothing you've tried so far has really helped. Listen, if you've ever felt that frustration of your body not responding the way it used to, if you've wondered why simple tasks now leave your legs aching, if you've tried compression socks, walking more, drinking more water, and still feel that uncomfortable pressure building in your lower legs by evening. This isn't just about comfort. Poor leg circulation can mean your cells aren't getting the oxygen they need. It can lead to dangerous blood clots. It can steal your independence, one painful step at a time. But here's your hope: your body has an incredible ability to heal and restore itself when given the right tools. And these 3 vitamins? They're not expensive miracle cures from some remote island. They're scientifically proven, accessible, and when combined correctly, they can help transform how your legs feel in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to walk through each one, what it does, exactly how much you need, which forms work best, and the critical mistakes people make that stop these vitamins from working their magic. Before we dive in, I want to know, are you dealing with leg circulation issues right now? Type 1 in the comments if your legs feel heavy, achy, or tired. Type 0 if they feel perfectly fine. Your voice matters here, and it helps me understand what you're going through. Now, let's talk about vitamin number 1, the one that doctors called nature's blood thinner. Let me ask you something important. Have you noticed that the same body that carried you through decades of life now seems to play by different rules? You're not imagining it. And you're certainly not alone. After 60, your body goes through changes that most doctors never fully explain. Your metabolism, that internal engine that once burned through anything you ate, starts slowing down by about 5% every decade. Think of it like a furnace that used to roar but now just hums along. But here's what really matters for your legs: your blood vessels start to lose their flexibility. Imagine a garden hose that's been left out in the sun for years. It gets stiff, doesn't it? That's happening inside your veins and arteries. They're not as elastic as they used to be. Blood doesn't flow as freely. It's like trying to push water through a narrowing pipe. And there's more. Your body's ability to regulate blood sugar isn't what it was. Even if you're not diabetic, even if your doctor says your numbers are fine, your cells are becoming a bit resistant. Sugar lingers in your bloodstream longer than it should. And that excess sugar? It's sticky. It literally makes your blood thicker, harder to move through those already narrowing vessels. Then there's inflammation. Your joints, your muscles, your blood vessels, they're all dealing with low-grade inflammation that you can't see but you can definitely feel. It's like having a small fire burning inside your body all the time, making everything a little bit swollen, a little bit sore, a little bit slower to heal. Now here's the part that nobody warns you about: the foods you trusted your entire life, the healthy foods your mother taught you to eat, the ones doctors recommended for years, some of them might now be working against you. I know that sounds backwards. You're thinking, wait, I've been eating fruit my whole life. I walk when I can. I'm trying to do everything right. And you are. But your body at 70 is not the same body you had at 30. What helped you then might be hurting you now. Let me tell you about Joan. She's 74, lives in Michigan, and for 3 years she struggled with leg circulation so poor that standing up from her recliner required both arms pushing down and a silent prayer. Every morning, she made herself what she thought was the perfect healthy breakfast: a big fruit smoothie. Bananas for potassium, grapes for antioxidants, a little orange juice for vitamin C. She was doing everything the nutrition books told her to do. But her legs kept swelling. That cold, tingling sensation in her feet got worse. By afternoon, her ankles looked twice their normal size. She tried elevating them. She tried support stockings. She even bought one of those circulation boosters from a late-night TV ad. Nothing changed. Here's what Joan didn't know, what most people don't know: certain fruits, especially in the quantities and combinations we eat them, can actually make circulation worse. Not because fruit is bad, but because of what it does in an aging body that's already struggling with blood sugar regulation and inflammation. Some fruits spike your blood sugar so fast that your blood becomes syrupy. Others are packed with natural sugars that, in your 60s and beyond, your body just can't process the way it used to. And when that sugar sits in your bloodstream, it damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, the very vessels your legs desperately need to be healthy and clear. You might be sitting there thinking, but I've always eaten these foods. Why would they suddenly be a problem now? That's the question. And the answer changes everything about how you can feel tomorrow, next week, next month. Your body is sending you signals. That heaviness in your legs? That's a signal. The swelling that appears by dinner time? Signal. The coldness in your feet even when the room is warm? Your body is trying to tell you something. And what it's saying is this: something in your daily routine, maybe something you do every single morning, is blocking the circulation your legs need to feel strong again. So let's do this together. Let's look at the vitamins your body is crying out for. Not a dozen supplements. Not a confusing routine. Just 3 specific vitamins that can open up those pathways again, get oxygen flowing to your cells, and help you feel like your legs belong to you again instead of weighing you down. Because before we can fill your body with what it needs, we need to understand what it's missing and why. Let's start with vitamin number 1. There's a vitamin that most people associate with skincare and anti-aging creams. You've probably seen it on beauty product labels. But what almost nobody tells you is that this same vitamin is one of the most powerful natural circulation boosters your legs will ever encounter. I'm talking about vitamin E. Now, before you think I've heard of that before, let me tell you what you probably haven't heard. Vitamin E doesn't just sit in your bloodstream doing nothing. It actively protects the delicate lining of your blood vessels, that thin, precious layer called the endothelium. Think of it like a protective coating on the inside of a pipe. When that coating is healthy, blood flows smoothly. When it's damaged, blood flow becomes sluggish, sticky, almost like molasses trying to move uphill. Here's what happens in your body after 60. Something called oxidative stress starts attacking your blood vessels. It's like rust forming on metal. Free radicals, these unstable molecules, damage the walls of your veins and arteries. And when those walls get damaged, they become inflamed, narrowed, and stiff. Vitamin E is nature's answer to this. It's a powerful antioxidant that neutralizes those free radicals before they can cause damage. But here's the crucial part: it also prevents your blood from forming dangerous clots. It keeps your platelets, those tiny cells that clump together, from sticking to each other unnecessarily. Now, you might be thinking, well, I take a multivitamin. Doesn't that have vitamin E? Here's where most people get it wrong. The form of vitamin E matters enormously. Most cheap supplements contain a synthetic form called D-alpha-tocopherol. Your body doesn't recognize it very well. It's like giving someone a key that almost fits the lock but not quite. What you need is natural vitamin E, specifically D-alpha-tocopherol, and even better, a blend called mixed tocopherols. This is the form found in real food, and your body knows exactly what to do with it. Let me tell you about Robert, 71, from Arizona. Robert had restless legs so bad he couldn't sleep through the night. His calves would cramp. His feet tingled constantly. He'd tried magnesium, potassium, everything his doctor suggested. Nothing worked. Then he started taking 400 IU of natural vitamin E every day, the right form, the mixed tocopherols I just mentioned. Within 3 weeks, the cramping decreased. Within 2 months, he was sleeping through the night. His wife said it was like getting her husband back. Here's the dosage that research shows works: 400 to 800 IU daily of natural vitamin E, D-alpha-tocopherol with mixed tocopherols. Don't go over 1000 IU without talking to your doctor, especially if you're on blood thinners, because vitamin E does thin the blood naturally. And here's a critical mistake people make: they take vitamin E once in a while, sporadically, whenever they remember. That doesn't work. Your blood vessels need consistent, daily support. Think of it like watering a plant. You can't water it once a month and expect it to thrive. The best food sources? Sunflower seeds, almonds, spinach, avocado, and wheat germ oil. But honestly, to get therapeutic amounts for circulation, you'll likely need a supplement. One more thing: vitamin E works even better when combined with vitamin C, which brings me to our next vitamin. But here's what you need to know: it's not about drinking orange juice. Now, this next vitamin is one that hardly anyone talks about, but it might be the most important one for your leg circulation. Most people know about vitamin K. It's the one that helps your blood clot when you cut yourself. But there's a specific type, vitamin K2, that does something completely different, something remarkable for your blood vessels. Here's what's probably happening in your legs right now if you're over 60. Calcium is building up in places it shouldn't be. Not in your bones where you need it, but in your arteries, in the walls of your blood vessels. It's like hard water deposits forming in old pipes. This process is called arterial calcification, and it's one of the main reasons blood flow to your legs becomes restricted. Your arteries literally become stiffer, narrower, more fragile. Blood pressure goes up. Circulation goes down. And your legs pay the price. Vitamin K2 is the only nutrient that can actually reverse this process. It activates a protein called matrix GLA protein, which acts like a calcium traffic controller. It pulls calcium out of your arteries and puts it back into your bones where it belongs. Think of it this way: vitamin K2 is like a cleanup crew that removes blockages from your blood vessels. It doesn't just prevent new calcium from depositing, it actually helps clear out what's already there. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most people get almost no vitamin K2 in their diet. It's found in very specific foods that most Americans don't eat regularly: fermented foods like natto, a Japanese fermented soy, certain cheeses like Gouda and Brie, egg yolks from pasture-raised chickens, and grass-fed butter. The standard American diet? Almost zero K2. And here's the kicker: if you're taking calcium supplements or vitamin D without K2, you might actually be making the problem worse. You're putting calcium into your bloodstream, but without K2 to direct it, that calcium can end up in your arteries instead of your bones. Let me tell you about Margaret, 68, from Ohio. Margaret had been taking calcium for years because her doctor was worried about osteoporosis. But her leg circulation kept getting worse. She'd walk to the mailbox and have to stop halfway because of cramping pain in her calves. Classic sign of poor circulation. When she started taking 180 micrograms of vitamin K2 daily, specifically the -7 Malawian Kwacha's form, which lasts longer in your body, something shifted. It didn't happen overnight. It took about 6 weeks. But gradually, she could walk further without pain. The heaviness in her legs lightened. Her feet weren't as cold. Here's the dosage: 90 to 180 micrograms of vitamin K2 is -7 Malawian Kwacha's daily. -7 Malawian Kwachas is the form you want. It stays active in your body for days, unlike the -4 Malawian Kwacha's form, which only lasts a few hours. Important warning: if you're on warfarin or Coumadin, blood thinners, talk to your doctor first. Vitamin K affects blood clotting, and your medication dosage might need adjustment. But if you're on newer blood thinners like Eliquis or Xarelto, K2 doesn't interfere. Here's what most people miss: K2 works best when paired with vitamin D and magnesium. They're like a team. D helps you absorb calcium, K2 directs it to the right places, and magnesium helps activate both vitamins. And this brings us to the third vitamin, the one that ties everything together and might be the most deficient in older adults. Alright, here's the vitamin that might surprise you most. It's not exotic. It's not new. In fact, doctors have known about its circulation benefits for over 70 years. But somewhere along the way, this knowledge got buried under newer medications and forgotten remedies. I'm talking about vitamin B3, specifically the form called niacin, also known as nicotinic acid. Now, you might have heard of niacin for cholesterol. That's what it's famous for. But what fewer people know is that niacin is one of the most powerful natural vasodilators in existence. That's a fancy word that means it opens up your blood vessels. Here's what happens when you take niacin: within about 20 to 30 minutes, your blood vessels relax and widen. Blood flow increases dramatically, especially to your extremities, your hands, your feet, your legs. You might even experience what's called a niacin flush, a warm, tingling sensation in your skin as blood rushes to the surface. Some people find the flush uncomfortable at first. Your skin might turn red, feel warm, maybe even slightly itchy for 30 to 45 minutes. But here's what that flush really means: blood is flowing to places it hasn't reached in a long time. That increased blood flow brings oxygen, nutrients, and healing compounds to tissues that have been starving for them. But niacin does something else remarkable: it improves the function of your endothelium, that inner lining of your blood vessels we talked about earlier. It increases the production of nitric oxide, a molecule that keeps blood vessels flexible and responsive. Think of nitric oxide like a command signal that tells your blood vessels to relax and open wide. Without enough of it, your vessels stay constricted, tight, unable to deliver adequate blood flow. After 60, your natural nitric oxide production drops significantly. Niacin helps restore it. Here's where people go wrong: they buy flush-free niacin or niacinamide because they want to avoid the tingling sensation. But those forms don't have the same circulation benefits. The flush is actually a sign that it's working. Let me tell you about Frank, 73, a retired electrician from Pennsylvania. Frank had such poor circulation in his legs that they'd turn pale when he sat for more than an hour. His toes were always cold. He'd developed small ulcers on his ankles that wouldn't heal. His doctor wanted to put him on prescription circulation medication. Frank decided to try niacin first. He started with just 50 milligrams after dinner to get used to the flush. Gradually, he worked up to 250 milligrams twice a day. Within a month, his legs had better color. Within 3 months, those stubborn ulcers finally healed. His wife said his feet were actually warm for the first time in years. Here's the protocol: start low, 50 to 100 milligrams with food, preferably after dinner. Take it for a week to get used to the flush. Then gradually increase to 250 to 500 milligrams twice daily. The therapeutic range for circulation is typically 500 to 1000 milligrams total per day. Important notes: take it with food to reduce stomach upset. Never take it on an empty stomach. And avoid taking it with hot beverages or alcohol, as these can intensify the flush. If you have liver issues, gout, or diabetes, talk to your doctor first. Niacin can affect blood sugar and liver enzymes in high doses. Now here's the powerful part: when you combine all three of these vitamins, vitamin E protecting your vessel walls, K2 clearing out calcium deposits, and niacin opening up blood flow, you create a synergistic effect. Each one amplifies the others. It's not about taking a dozen supplements. It's about taking the right three, in the right forms, at the right doses, consistently. Your legs have been trying to tell you something. That heaviness, that aching, that coldness, those are symptoms of blood vessels crying out for help. These 3 vitamins are the answer your body has been waiting for. But here's what you need to know next: how to take them properly, what mistakes to avoid, and what you should expect in the first few weeks. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This is a lot to remember. 3 vitamins, specific forms, different dosages. How do I actually make this work in my daily life? Take a breath. Because here's the beautiful truth: you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this in a way that fits into your life, not some idealized version of your life, but your actual, real, everyday routine. Let's start with the practical side. How do you actually take these 3 vitamins so they work together? Here's what works for most people, and it's simpler than you think. In the morning, with breakfast, take your vitamin E and vitamin K2 together. Why? Because both are fat-soluble vitamins. They need fat to be absorbed properly. So take them with eggs, a bit of butter on your toast, some avocado, or even just a handful of nuts. That healthy fat helps your body absorb them. Vitamin E, 400 IU of natural mixed tocopherols. Vitamin K2, 180 micrograms as -7 Malawian kwaches. That's it for the morning. 2 capsules, with food that contains fat. In the evening, after dinner, take your niacin. Why evening? Because that warm flush sensation is easier to handle when you're relaxing at home, not rushing around during the day. Plus, some people find that the flush helps them relax before bed. Niacin, start with 100 mg for the first week, then increase to 250 mg, and eventually work up to 500 mg if your body tolerates it well. That's your foundation. Morning and evening. 3 vitamins. Less than 2 minutes of your day. Now, let me be honest with you about the timeline, because I don't want you to give up too soon. Week 1, you probably won't feel much different yet. You might notice the niacin flush, that warm, tingling sensation. This is normal. It typically fades within 45 minutes. Some people find it uncomfortable at first, others actually enjoy it. Your body is getting used to increased blood flow. Week 2 to 3, this is when subtle changes start appearing. You might notice your feet aren't quite as cold. The heaviness in your legs might feel slightly lighter, especially in the evening. Your ankles might be less swollen. These aren't dramatic transformations yet, they're gentle shifts. Week 4 to 6, this is typically when people really start to notice. That dull ache in your calves might ease up. You might find yourself walking a bit further without needing to stop. Getting up from a chair might not require quite as much effort. Your legs might actually feel like they belong to you again. Week 8 to 12, for many people, this is where the real transformation happens. Consistent circulation support over 2 to 3 months allows your blood vessels to heal, inflammation to decrease, and blood flow to normalize. But here's the critical part: you have to be consistent. Taking these vitamins sporadically, a few days here, skip a week there, won't work. Your blood vessels need daily support to repair and maintain themselves. The foods that support this process. Now, while these 3 vitamins are doing their work, you can amplify their effects with the foods you eat. Think of food as your supporting cast, the vitamins are the stars, but these foods make everything work better. Berries, nature's circulation boosters. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries. These little gems are packed with compounds called anthocyanins, natural chemicals that strengthen blood vessel walls and reduce inflammation. A study of people over 65 found that eating just 1 cup of berries 3 times a week improved circulation and reduced leg swelling within 8 weeks. Imagine that. A handful of berries with your morning oatmeal or yogurt, and you're giving your blood vessels exactly what they need to stay strong and flexible. Fresh or frozen, both work equally well. In fact, frozen berries are often picked at peak ripeness and can be even more nutrient-dense than fresh ones that sat in transport for days. Cherries, the anti-inflammation secret. Particularly tart cherries. These aren't just delicious, they actively lower uric acid levels in your blood. High uric acid contributes to inflammation, joint pain, and poor circulation. A small glass of tart cherry juice in the morning, or a handful of fresh cherries as an afternoon snack, can help reduce the background inflammation that makes everything hurt. Water helps blood flow. Have a small handful of nuts or a piece of dark chocolate as a snack. Evening. Take niacin after dinner. Include leafy greens or fatty fish with your meal. Elevate your legs for 15 to 20 minutes while reading or watching TV. That's it. No complicated meal plans. No extreme restrictions. Just small, consistent choices that support better circulation. The mindset shift that changes everything. Here's what I want you to understand: you're not broken. Your body isn't betraying you. It's simply responding to decades of wear and tear, and it needs specific support to function optimally. These 3 vitamins, vitamin E, K2, and niacin, aren't magic pills. They're giving your body the tools it's been missing, the nutrients it needs to repair blood vessels, clear blockages, and restore healthy blood flow. Your legs can feel better. That heaviness can lift. Those cold feet can warm up. The swelling can decrease. But it requires you to show up for yourself every single day. Not perfectly. Just consistently. And here's the truth: 6 months from now, you're going to wish you had started today. So let's talk about what mistakes to avoid, because knowing what to do is only half the battle. You know what I've learned from talking to thousands of people just like you? The hardest part isn't knowing what to do. It's believing that change is still possible for you. Maybe you've been dealing with leg pain for so long that it feels permanent. Maybe you've tried so many things that didn't work, you've started thinking, this is just how life is now. I'm here to tell you something important: that's not true. Your body right now, at this very moment, has blood vessels that can heal, cells that can regenerate, circulation pathways that can open back up. It doesn't matter if you're 62 or 82. It doesn't matter if you've been struggling with this for 2 months or 20 years. Your body is still capable of remarkable healing when you give it what it needs. These 3 vitamins, vitamin E, K2, and niacin, they're not asking you to overhaul your entire life. They're not demanding you become someone you're not. They're simply giving your body the specific nutrients it's been missing, the tools it needs to do what it was designed to do: heal itself. Think about it this way. If you had a garden and the plants were wilting, you wouldn't just accept it and say, well, I guess that's what happens to old gardens. You'd check the soil, add nutrients, make sure they're getting water and sunlight. You'd give them what they need to thrive. Your body is no different. That heaviness in your legs? That's not just age. That's blood vessels crying out for vitamin E to protect them, K2 to clear them, and niacin to open them up. That swelling in your ankles by evening? That's not inevitable. That's poor circulation that can be addressed. Those cold feet that won't warm up even under blankets? That's restricted blood flow that these 3 vitamins are specifically designed to improve. You're not powerless here. You're not a passive victim of aging. You have more control than you realize. And here's what I want you to really hear: your independence, your ability to walk where you want, when you want, without pain or fear, it starts with choices like this. Small, consistent, informed choices that add up over time. 1 capsule in the morning. 1 in the evening. A handful of berries with breakfast. These aren't massive sacrifices. They're small acts of self-care that send a message to your body: I'm not giving up on you. Share this with someone you know who's struggling with leg circulation. Your friend who's always complaining about swollen ankles. Your sister who can't walk as far as she used to. Your spouse who thinks their leg pain is just something they have to live with. This information could change their life. And it starts with you sharing it. Remember, 6 months from now, your legs will either feel the same as they do right now, or they'll feel noticeably better. The difference comes down to what you do in the next 24 hours. Your body is waiting. Your legs are waiting. The strength and comfort you remember, it's not gone forever. It's just waiting for you to give it the right support. Those 3 vitamins sitting on a shelf somewhere, or the ones you're about to order, they're not just supplements. They're your pathway back to independence. Back to comfort. Back to feeling like yourself again. You've got this. And I'm here cheering you on every step of the way. Now go take that first step. Your legs will thank you.